As a lesbian animation fan, finding shows to watch with honestly good LGBT representation has been like looking for a shonen anime without any fan service. Difficult, to say the least. That doesn't mean that there hasn't been some great gay anime over the years. Shows like Bloom Into You and Given come to mind as some of the best LGBT shows that the industry has to offer. But shows like these, being intensely gay romance dramas, are generally meant to cater to specific homo-loving audiences. LGBT characters generally don't appear in non-romance oriented stories, and when they do, they're often fetishized, killed, stereotyped, romantically doomed, unconfirmed, or have their sexualities played for laughs. Rarely do we get to see queer characters being treated in the same way and with the same dignity as cis-het characters. But this past spring season, we got seasons of not just one, but two wonderfully animated series with queer characters that beautifully showcase what I like to call casual lesbianism. So, let's talk about My Next Life as a Villainess and She-Ra in the Princesses of Power. My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, commonly shortened to HameFura, is probably the most fun isekai and hands down the most enjoyable harem I've ever seen. It follows a certain otaku girl who, after getting killed in an accident, gets reincarnated as a character in one of her favorite games, Fortune Lover. Instead of getting reincarnated as the protagonist of the game, she's reincarnated as Katarina Kleiss, Fortune Lover's main antagonist. In most routes of the original game, Katarina is supposed to meet her doom. So, the main story of HameFura revolves around Katarina doing everything in her power to avoid being killed or exiled. As Katarina avoids her doom flags, she becomes closer to the other characters in the game in unexpected ways, which is exactly where the casual lesbianism comes in. See, in HameFura's world, Fortune Lover is supposed to be an otome game, which traditionally is a type of game where the main goal is for a female player to succeed in developing a relationship with one of several male characters. HameFura, though, flips this script, and instead of having only the conquerable boys fall in love with her, the girl characters, who are supposed to be rivals of the protagonist, and even the game's protagonist herself, fall in love with the kind and charming Katarina, forming one of anime's first, and best, bisexual harems. What I love about HameFura's depiction of lesbian and bisexual characters is that, more or less, they're treated in the exact same way as the straight male characters. And the girls are all very explicitly in love for Katarina as well, to the point where there's no doubt that they each seek to be more than just friends, which is really a breath of fresh air compared to the numerous shows that only hint at homosexuality and utilize queerbaity tactics. The fact that the girls are in love with another girl is never made a big deal of. Their desires are never framed in a fetishizing way, and they're regarded as being on equal footing with the straight characters in regards to their attempts to win over Katarina's affections, which all work to portray lesbianism in a casual, normal way, and work against media's tendency for heteronormativity. In terms of combating heteronormativity, HameFura goes a long way, but I'd argue She-Ra goes even further. She-Ra in the Princesses of Power is a reboot of the classic 80s series She-Ra, Princess of Power, and, quite honestly, it's my favorite thing to come out of animation since A Place Further Than the Universe. Before I even delve into what I love about the show and how it handles its representation, I just want to do my part in asking you to, if you haven't already, please watch it. It's only got 52 episodes, and the final season just aired last May, making it a super easy binge. And trust me, once the series captures your heart, you'll need to binge it. The story follows a girl named Adora who's trained all her life to become a soldier for the Horde and defeat the evil Princess Rebellion. Her worldview gets flipped on its head though when she finds out that the Horde has been lying to her for her whole life, and she has the power to turn into an 8-foot-tall magic sword lesbian known as She-Ra. After finding out about the Horde's atrocities, Adora leaves behind everything and everyone she's ever known to join the Princess Rebellion and work towards mastering her power as She-Ra and organizing the princesses to defeat the Horde and save the planet Etheria once and for all. As you can see, the plot of She-Ra is one that could very well happen with a cast of exclusively cisgender and homosexual characters, as really was the case in the original 80s series. But the real world is not comprised of only cishet people, and the showrunner Noelle Stevenson took deliberate action to combat heteronormativity. While watching the show, I couldn't help but remember something Stevenson tweeted out while she was working on her own comics a few years prior to She-Ra. Assume all characters in my comics are gay unless stated otherwise. Because we live in a cis-heteronormative society, we are conditioned to assume the opposite, that all characters are cis and straight unless explicitly stated otherwise. But She-Ra and Stevenson's other works challenge this notion. Throughout the course of the series, She-Ra gives us representation upon representation upon representation. It gives us gay dads, a non-binary theater kid, a bisexual pirate, a trans man space refugee, and an overarching lesbian friends to enemies to lovers storyline that will tear your heart to shreds 10 times over, then pick up all the pieces, put them back together, and kiss them goodnight. And that's not even naming everything that the show gives us. I think one of my favorite, and perhaps one of the most influential, instances of representations, and specifically casual lesbianism, in She-Ra is the relationship between Spinnerella and Natasha, two married lesbian princesses who are part of the rebellion. Unlike some of the other lesbian characters, their romantic relationship is established at the very beginning of the series, and we get to see them being gay and in love all the way through. Their relationship is firmly established. They hold hands, embrace each other, call each other darling, kiss, and celebrate an anniversary together, leaving not 1 ounce of room to question the nature of their relationship. They may not be the show's main presence, but they are a constant one, and they are given the same visibility and treated with the same dignity, respect, and validity that the media typically reserves for straight relationships. In both My Next Life as a Villainess and She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, being a lesbian, or otherwise LGBT, is treated as a casual and completely normal thing. This casual lesbianism is important because it deviates from and challenges the heteronormativity that is pervasive in most media, especially media targeted towards younger audiences. And the power that media has should never be underestimated. It plays a large role in the lifelong process of socialization, and it informs and shapes the deeply rooted beliefs and ideas that become ingrained in us as we grow up. By showing kids that straight isn't the default setting, and that straying from straightness is not only okay, but completely normal, the media can help dismantle heteronormativity and reshape a more open, inclusive society. As always, I'm Rose, aka Celestial Nerd, and thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on representation in HameFura, She-Ra, and other shows in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and push the notification bell for more animation content in the future. Happy Pride, everyone!